AI was supposed to save companies time. But in many offices, it created a new job, checking the AI. Over the past few years, artificial intelligence has been promoted as a breakthrough that could replace large parts of the human workforce. Businesses were told it could handle writing, analysis, coding, and even decision-making at scale. But once AI entered real professional environments, a different picture started to appear. Research indicates that AI systems fail in up to 96% of complex workplace tasks, often producing results that are incomplete or incorrect. But the point is not that AI fails at everything. The point is that AI struggles when companies expect it to complete professional work without human review. In many cases, the output cannot be used without significant human correction, which adds time instead of saving it. Despite these weaknesses, companies continue to reduce headcount while depending more on AI systems. At the same time, reports show that in sensitive fields like healthcare and engineering, AI errors are still frequent and sometimes serious. This raises a serious concern. Why does AI look impressive in demos but fail when companies use it for real work? Is this technology truly ready for real-world work, or has the world moved too fast in trusting it? You may have seen a figure circulating in recent months. AI fails 96% in professional tasks. That sounds almost too extreme to be real. And honestly, the full picture is more nuanced than that headline suggests. But here is the uncomfortable part. Even when you dig past the hyperbole, the research underneath it is not reassuring. That figure points to AI being tested across hundreds of real professional tasks covering design, programming, and written work. Most systems struggled to reach an acceptable standard without human correction. Only a small fraction of outputs could be used without modifications. Then MIT's Project Nanda went further. They found that 95% of organizations deploying generative AI saw zero measurable financial return, not minimal return, not delayed return, zero. The question companies should have asked next is the one most of them skipped. Why? Here is something almost every AI demo has in common. The task is clean, the data is tidy. The question has a single correct answer. There are no hidden rules, no client history, no regulatory exceptions, and no consequences if the output is wrong. Real professional work has all of those things. Think about a developer who uses AI to write a block of code. In the demo, it works. It runs cleanly, passes the basic test, and looks exactly like what was asked for. So the developer ships it. 3 days later, the code breaks in production, not because the AI made an obvious error, because the AI had no way of knowing about the legacy system it was going to interact with, the edge case the client mentioned in a meeting 6 months ago, or the performance requirement buried in a document the AI had never seen. And this is where the demo version of AI crashes into the office version of AI. The output looked finished. It was not finished. Someone now has to find the break, understand why it happened, and rebuild the logic from a foundation the AI generated but did not fully understand. That scenario plays out across every industry. The version just changes. An AI writes a legal summary for a contract review. The summary looks clean and thorough, but buried near the bottom of the original document is a single clause that shifts the liability structure under the laws of a specific state. The AI did not flag it because the AI did not know it was significant. A paralegal now has to read the full document anyway. The time saved on the summary is swallowed by the verification that follows. Or take customer support. An AI drafts a response to a customer complaint. The tone is right. The answer sounds correct. But the response promises a refund policy the company quietly changed 8 weeks ago. The customer receives it, quotes it back, and now a manager is involved in a conversation that should never have happened. But this is where the savings start to disappear. Almost 40% of apparent AI productivity gains were being lost to rework and low-quality output. The output was fast. The cleanup was not. And the person doing the cleanup still needed to be skilled enough to know what to look for. Which raises a question nobody asked early enough. If you need an expert to check the AI, what exactly have you saved? Here is the core of the problem. AI generates text by predicting which word is statistically most likely to follow the last one, based on patterns from its training data. That process produces fluent, confident-sounding output, but it has no mechanism for knowing whether that output is accurate, appropriate, or even consistent with the rules it was supposed to follow. It does not know what it does not know, and it will not tell you when it is uncertain. Consider what that looks like in a hospital. An AI summarizes a patient file before a consultation. The summary is clean and well organized, but it does not flag that the patient mentioned chronic pain in a previous visit, phrased in a way the model did not recognize as clinically significant. The doctor, trusting the summary, misses the context. The consultation goes in the wrong direction. The mistake was not using AI. The mistake was trusting the first draft. Now layer the spending on top of all of this. The 6 largest U.S. companies investing in AI are projected to spend over $750 billion on it this year alone, more than the entire GDP of Ireland. That investment is real. But so is the gap between what was promised and what has been delivered. Many companies did not wait to see how that gap would close. They restructured first. Klarna cut 700 customer service agents and announced the future had arrived. Within a year, customer satisfaction had fallen sharply. The CEO admitted the company had chased efficiency at the expense of quality. Klarna began rehiring. The worker did not disappear. They moved behind the machine. Gartner forecasts that by 2027, 50% of companies that cut staff citing AI will have to rehire for similar functions. Worse still, 42% of companies abandoned most of their AI initiatives in 2025, up from just 17% the year before. That number nearly tripled in a single year. So, if AI is creating this much wreckage, you might be wondering, is there any version of this that actually works? Well, the answer is yes. But it looks nothing like the pitch. The companies getting genuine results from AI are not the ones who replace teams with it. They are the ones who gave it to skilled workers as a support layer and protected the humans for the work that still needs them. For drafting, summarizing, organizing information, and handling repetitive written tasks, AI tools are saving workers an average of 1.5 to 2.5 hours per week, across a team that is real-time recovered for work that cannot be automated. In customer service, agents using AI as a live co-pilot resolve more cases per hour. Routine requests move fast. Sensitive, complex, or emotionally charged cases go straight to a human. The combination outperforms either option alone. AI handles volume. Humans handle judgment. The companies that keep those two roles clearly separated are the ones seeing the returns everyone else was promised. Here is what all of this points to. The replacement narrative was never the right frame. It assumed that producing output was the job. It is not. Professional work means producing the right output in the right context with accountability for what comes next. AI can do the producing. It cannot carry the context or the accountability. Not at the level that real professional work demands. So the human does not leave the workflow. The human shifts into the layer that no demo ever shows. Verification, judgment, and correction. That labor is real. That cost is real. And for most companies that built a business case around projected AI savings, it was invisible until the problems arrived. The companies recalibrating now are asking a different question. Not which jobs can AI replace, but which parts of this job should AI handle? That shift in framing is small. The difference in outcomes is not. AI is not the problem. Misreading what AI is actually good at, that is the problem. And the ones who get that distinction right are the ones who will actually come out ahead. Now, if this changes the way you think about AI at work, subscribe. Drop a comment with what you are seeing in your own industry. The real story of AI adoption is still unfolding, and no single headline is going to capture it.